Hi, my name is David Ryan Barcega Castro Harris. I'm the founder of Amplify RJ, and I imagine you're here because you want to learn more about how Amplify RJ can help you go from diversity and inclusion to restorative community in your organization. What's wrong with D&I? It's needed, but it doesn't go far enough. At its best, most D&I trainings raise awareness for systemic problems and address individual harmful behaviors. Discriminatory policies and microaggressions need to be addressed, but bringing people from diverse backgrounds and including them into existing structures doesn't get to the root of the problem. At Amplify RJ, we know that the root of the problem is broken or non-existent relationships. We're disconnected from others and often ourselves. It makes it almost impossible to build healthy and authentic relationships in the workplace and repair them when there's harm. And this is largely due to white supremacy culture. Now, before you go running, let me tell you what I mean by white supremacy culture. It's not about demonizing white people, although white people often benefit from it. And it's not simply about removing the use of racial slurs or stopping people from marching with the Klan. According to dismantlingracism.org, white supremacy culture is an artificial, historically constructed culture which expresses and justifies the idea that white people and the ideas, thoughts, beliefs, and actions of white people are superior to people of color and their ideas, thoughts, actions, and beliefs. The idea that white is normal or better, smarter, or holier is reproduced in all society's institutions, in particular business, the media, education, Western science, or the Christian church. White supremacy is not the shark in the water, but it's the water in which we swim. People who embody different identities are affected differently, but everyone gets harmed by white supremacy culture. According to Daniel Jones and Tema Okun, characteristics of white supremacy include objectivity, perfectionism, a sense of urgency, defensiveness, power hoarding, individualism, and more. How do these characteristics show up in your life? How do you uphold them? How are you harmed by them? It's not the fault of any one individual. These characteristics have been upheld in institutions for centuries, and they harm everybody. But individuals can make the changes that will help us build a more equitable world. So what does this have to do with restorative justice? At Amplify RJ, we define restorative justice as a philosophy and set of practices rooted in indigenous teachings that emphasize our interconnection by repairing relationships when harm occurs while proactively building and maintaining relationships to prevent future harm. Some people only think about the process of repairing harm, but as you can see from this diagram, repairing harm is only a small part of the work. Much like the branches of a tree need to be supported by a strong trunk and roots in order to bear fruit, restorative justice processes need to be supported by proactive restorative practices and a restorative mindset and values in order to get to the outcomes of healing, accountability, and stronger relationships. Amplify RJ does this by taking you through a series of workshops that help you build habits to embody these restorative practices in your own life. It starts with a 2-hour intro, which you can sign up for right now, and continues with 36 hours of experiential learning that teaches you the foundations of restorative justice, as well as in-depth practices for building, maintaining, and repairing relationships rooted in equity. I'm really looking forward to you joining us in the work that will build the world we want for future generations. If you want to bring this work to your organization, you can start by signing up for an intro workshop right now. If you want to learn more or have any questions at all, email me at amplifyrj@gmail.com. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Hope to hear from you soon.